Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'll be discussing GS paper 1 and Indian society. Now, Indian society, there were close to 8 questions, and it was a heavy weightage this time. So you need to had a good understanding of Indian society to attempt these questions. Why? Because even though the questions appear to be very static, but howsoever you had to have this current affair linkage with the static questions. Why? Because you won't be able to address the question easily if you didn't had the knowledge of current affairs. Okay, so let's begin. Now the first question is, why do larger cities tend to attract more migrants than smaller towns? Discuss in the light of conditions in developing countries. Now if you see, the question is saying what? That why do large cities tend to attract more migrants and compared to who? The smaller towns. Now discuss this in the light of conditions in developing countries. So we have three genres of countries, that is one is underdeveloped, another one is developing, and the another one is developed. So they are asking you about developing countries. Now understand, why are people migrating from smaller cities or smaller towns to larger cities? Now for that you need to know various aspects. Aspects as in what? For example, if we go with the economic aspects. Now economic aspects focus on what? Job opportunities, businesses, more avenues of employment. Now why am I saying that this is demanding like a lot of job opportunities are there, or businesses are there, or there are more avenues of employment? Why? Because if you see here in Delhi, we are having what? For example, you have this Blinkit, you have Zepto, you have for example Uber, Ola. Now these are acting as what? They are acting as avenues of employment for people who are coming from different sections of the society. So that way it is providing you economic opportunities in bigger town or in larger cities. Other than that, there is more of exploration in these larger cities. Exploration as in what? With respect to quality education, people you find here are more open-minded. Now this is challenging the traditional norms. Now how come they are challenging the traditional norms? For example, if you go in the smaller towns or in those cities, you'll find what? That people are still stuck up with things like whether the girl child should be educated or not. So girl child education is still questionable in smaller towns. Now other than that, quality education. Why? Because in smaller towns people are still dependent on the government schools. Now if you come on to larger cities, bigger cities, what is happening is that people are moving towards private education. Fine. Now here there is more of modernity. Fine. So one of the two reasons are here. That means economic opportunities and exploration. Other than that, why people are migrating from a smaller town to larger cities is they are focusing on the social parameters. Now social parameters as in what? Now see, it is challenging caste rigidities. Now other than challenging caste rigidities, there is people are moving towards a class based society. So from caste we are moving towards class-based society. Other than that, there is more of gender equality. Why am I saying gender equality? Now see, whether you see it's multinational corporations, whether you see sports, whether you see any dimension for that matter, any career aspect, you'll always find that men's as well as women's are participating with same enthusiasm. So what we find here is that female labor force participation is increasing. Other than female labor force participation, now here in social aspect, what is happening is now people feel more pride in having financial stability as compared to sitting back in home, etc. So what you find here is that it is a sense of pride for having financial freedom. With financial freedom comes financial stability. Fine. Now financial stability, with financial stability, what you are finding is that a lot of people now are more focusing on the education rather than focusing on marriages, etc. So here improvement of status of women. Fine. Other than this, what we have found here is that there is increasing participation of women in political fields as well. So as government has granted what 33% of reservation for women in parliament, which earlier was there in local government, but we have got 33% of reservation for women in parliament. So again, all these things are leading to what a broader perspective, a broader mindset, a more open mindedness with respect to people who are migrating from smaller town to larger cities. Now apart from this, what is happening is that these large cities are having more acceptance to the people. Acceptance to people as in what? That means they are not judged based on the rigidities of the caste or religion, etc. So acceptance to people, that means they are challenging the socio-cultural aspects. Fine. Now apart from this, there is an increasing trend of urbanization also that we are seeing. For example, if you see the areas of Gurgaon, I mean the soaring rates of properties, that is telling you that how much this urbanization is taking a peak. So another reason for why people are migrating is increasing urbanization. Example, the areas of Gurgaon. Example, you see the areas of Mumbai. Fine. Now apart from urbanization, the culture is changing. So you can say what Sanskritization is also taking place. So Sanskritization. Fine. Now, as the population is growing, the population wants what? A better standard of living. So a better standard of living, better hygiene facilities, sanitation, etc. All this is available in larger cities, etc. So here we find that population growth is there, and this population is demanding what? Better hygiene or better standard of living. Now, apart from all this what we have discussed, in urban areas, or you can say in larger cities, what we find is that the government schemes are also getting implemented in a quite efficient manner. So implementation of government schemes. Implementation of government schemes in an efficient manner. Why efficient manner? For example, we have PM Awas Yojana, that means housing for the people who can't afford. So affordable housing to all, that is PM Awas Yojana, that is implemented in larger cities. Then when I told you about better standard of living, then Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is there. So again, these things or these kind of schemes and government policies are implemented in larger cities much more effectively as compared to smaller town. Why? Because of course there is more transparency and accountability in these regions. That is the reasons why people are migrating from smaller town to urban areas or larger cities. Now all these things that we have discussed, all these services, amenities are more efficiently provided in urban areas or larger cities as compared to smaller towns. So another aspect that we can say is another aspect of this is that better services and amenities. Fine. Here also, in current affairs section, they have talked about digital education, that is digital literacy. So if you come into urban areas or if you come into larger towns and bigger cities, here you see people are operating smartphones, laptops, computers, etc. So the level of the literacy is also different as compared to the smaller towns. Here you'll find that there is high digital literacy. For example, even today, women in the smaller towns don't know how to operate UPI. They don't know how to go for online transactions. Forget about e-commerce. They don't know how to just transfer a small amount from one account to another. So that way, higher digital literacy is here. Fine. Then I told you about what? Or you can say more of women empowerment. Fine. So these are the reasons because of which there are more migrants from smaller cities to urban areas, especially in the developing countries. Why? Because again, I will sum up by saying this, that if you compare the regions of Mumbai, or if you compare the regions of Maharashtra and Bihar, what you will find is that Bihar is poorly developed, whereas Maharashtra is getting so developed. So what is happening is that there are high chances that people from Bihar will be migrating to the regions of Maharashtra, and when you will be doing economics and all, there is one term called seasonal employment. So what happens is that people from those cities are migrating from smaller towns to larger cities. Why? Because they find employment in these bigger towns, in these larger cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Gurgaon, etc. Right? So because of seasonal employment also. Now moving to the next question. Now the next question says that distinguish between gender equality, gender equity and women's empowerment. Why is it important to take gender concerns into account in program design and implementation? Now if you see the question is saying what? Firstly, you need to distinguish between gender equality, gender equity and women's empowerment. Why is it important to take gender concerns into account into program design and implementation? Now understand, first we need to understand what is gender equality. So gender equality is actually talking about equal access to resources irrespective of the gender, right? Fine. Now gender equity is what? Gender equity actually talks about equality between the gender, but taking into reference the historical and the structural differences. So here they take into account the historical and structural issues as well. Now I will explain you what is this. See, if you ever move to rural areas, what you find is that if there are probably like one male child and there are 4 girl child, or even if there is only 1 girl child and 1 male child, and the family is having resources for limited resources for education and health, what is going to happen is that all these resources will be diverted, and all these resources will be diverted to only one gender, that will be the male part of the family. Why? Because they consider it that okay, it is more important to get the male child educated, whereas the female child or the girl child is going to take care of the house, while the male child is going to school and the family is going to farms, etc. Now if you see, this is a kind of conditioning which is done to who? To the children. That means education is getting important for the male child, whereas female child is not being considered for that. So gender equity is taking the historical and the structural issues as well, because in that way we'll able to define that if we are giving reservation to women, if we are providing certain kind of amenities to the this female section, why is it happening so? Because there have been historical and structural issues which need to be addressed so as to bring gender equality. Now the next is women empowerment. So women empowerment is providing social, economic, and legal protection or support to the women. So gender equity, we are taking the significance, or we are addressing the historical and the structural issues. That's the reason why we are facing difficulty in bringing more women to the workforce, for that matter, or bringing women equality that way. So gender equality is where we are treating both the genders equal. Gender equity, where we are taking the historical and structural issues in the past. Then women empowerment is talking about what? Bringing more of social, economic and legal support to the women, so that what is going to happen is that women feel more empowered, women feel more safeguarded, more protected, and more comfortable to compete in the present day scenario. Now the next part of the question is saying, why is it important to take gender concerns into program design and implementation? Now understand, if women are not there in the main workforce, what is going to happen is that their issues will go unchecked, unaddressed. So the major fallout that we had was inclusivity. So this will address inclusivity. Inclusivity is what? Inclusivity is like, whenever there is any scheme which is going to, or any program for that matter is going to be implemented, what is going to happen is that we will have the program will be implemented or will be made in a manner where there will be more inclusivity with respect to the gender. That means it is going to address the issues of the women section as well. Now if we are having gender, there is more involvement of the other gender also there, so what is going to happen is that the women will feel more protected. So with respect to security also, the gender issue will be resolved. How? For example, Sexual Harassment Act. For example, hashtag #MeToo movement. Fine. Now inclusivity is there, security is there, what else? This shall also lead to what? Enhanced effectiveness. Why enhanced effectiveness? Just understand, for example, if you see the menstrual hygiene of the women segment, at the same time, there were a lot of women who were facing issues with respect to communicating with the topic of menstruation. So that was addressed in your one of the movie called Padman. Apart from this, what is going to happen is that we are having inclusivity, we are having this security, security issues will be addressed. Then we are having enhanced effectiveness. Now other thing is that we always say what? That if a man is educated, probably only the man is educated. But if you educate a woman, what is going to happen is that you are educating a family. So how is this happening? Because of sustainability. That means equality with respect to the gender is going to also bring, address the sustainability or address the issues of SDGs, that is your Sustainable Development Goals. Now, if we are bringing, women, or if we are having this women equality, or if we are, making policies keeping in mind the women segment, so what is going to happen is that there will be more of growth in economic sector also. And how is this possible? So economic segment will also get covered. How? For example, here you will find caregiving economy or caregiver economy, which we have been talking about in the past. So caregiving economy or caregiver economy. Now other than that, financial literacy with women segment will increase. That will also lead to more of investments. So more investments, etc. Other than that, apart from all this, there will be one more thing which will get addressed. What is that? For example, if the health of the mother is good, then definitely the health of the child will be also good. So improved healthcare. So here you have always heard about this, that good nutrition for the mother is very important for checking the infant mortality rate. So we will be able to check what? Infant mortality. Fine. Now other than that, this entire segment is going to address what? Better social justice. Right? So better social justice, that means we'll be able to do justice with the both the genders. Fine. So this was with respect to program designing, how it is how gender concern will help in effective program implementation. Now moving on to the next question. Now the next question says what? Intercaste marriages between caste, that means intercaste marriages between caste which have socio-economic parity have increased. That means intercaste marriages are increasing and it is being accepted also in the society. Now have increased to some extent. Now, but this is less true in interreligious marriages. That means two issues they are addressing. One is that intercaste marriages are gaining acceptance, whereas interreligious marriage, it is the other way around. So what is happening? That means you have to discuss it. You have to tell about various reasons why intercaste marriage is getting prevalent or is accepted, whereas inter-religion marriage is not. So they say that intercaste marriages between caste which have socio-economic parity, that means socio-economic standards have increased, whereas this is less true for interreligious marriage. So let's go with what is intercaste and what is interreligion marriage. That means intercaste marriages between different caste. Interreligious marriages between different religion. Fine. Now the reason why intercaste marriage is getting accepted because of socio-economic parity is, firstly let's talk about the reason for intercaste marriage. Why they are increasing, why intercaste marriages are increasing. Fine. First thing, because people are people have started getting education and they are educated. So what is happening is this is leading to more acceptance. So first reason of intercaste marriages is acceptance. Acceptance, why? Because of education. So there is more of open-mindedness or open-minded. Fine. Now second reason is, now we are living in a time where this age is known as age of earning couples. So this is age of earning couples. Now when this is age of earning couples, what is happening is that means both the partners are earning. Now when both the partners are earning, what is happening is that financial freedom is leading to or giving them more freedom for making their own choices. So intercaste marriages are getting prevalent because of financial freedom, and financial freedom is leading to what? Making of choices. So that's the reason why they could go for, this is prevalent with inter-religion also, but there there's difference in culture. Here you have similarity with respect to culture. So similarity with respect to culture. Now other reason is since education is there like people are open-minded, so what else is happening is that modernization, urbanization is also playing a big role here. So intercaste marriages are getting accepted because of modernization, because of urbanization. So socio-economic reason is that there is more pride with respect to what? Earning or job, which is more prevalent in urban areas, as well as now even in the rural areas they have started considering it. Why? Because if both the couples, if both the spouse are earning, what is happening is that people are accepting it. Why? Because there's a shift from the traditional norms. That means cultural acceptance is there, but cultural acceptance is there, but what is happening is that now they are taking it as a pride also. Why? Because there is a new avenue of learning. There is there's a new dimension which is coming forward. So here you will find that there are avenues or new avenues of learning. Now apart from all this, if you go with the legal system, so legal system is also fostering, or legal system is also promoting what? Intercaste marriages. So legal system is also promoting intercaste marriages. Promoting intercaste marriages. Fine. Okay, now this was with respect to intercaste marriages. Now let's discuss the issue with the inter-religion marriage. That means what issues people are facing in inter-religion marriage which is not getting addressed, or probably we are trying to get it addressed, but still it's not making the same effect as intercaste marriages is making. So issues with the inter-religion marriage. Now the first major issue which inter-religion couples are facing is that there is a lot of social ostracism. Now what is that? They are scared of being socially ostracized. Now what is socially ostracized? That means their own community, their own area will actually not accept them. So it is like loneliness, etc. So socially ostracized, that means socially and culturally not accepted. Fine. Now other than that is issue with the inter-religion marriage is that the community from which the spouse are coming from, the community itself is not very supportive. So community support is not there. Whereas in inter-caste marriage, the similar aspect was there. That means the community was supportive of them. Why? Because they kind of were getting new. There was new learning that was coming on the way. Why? Maybe because of class segment. Why? Because we are moving from caste to class-based society. So community acceptance becomes a challenge. Apart from this, legal barriers are also there. Legal barriers, why? If you people have been following current affairs, you must be knowing about the marriage between the owner of the Raymond clothing stores. So what happened was that there was a huge issue which was coming between both the spouses. So it was why? Because legal, I won't say barriers that way, but what is happening is that legality of the system is very questionable here. Why? Because there we are having Hindu Marriage Act, or the Marriage Act with respect to the religion, but here it is governed by the Special Marriage Act. So community acceptance is a problem, socially ostracized is a problem, legal barriers are there, that's a problem. Other than that, when two people coming from different religion, what is happening is that they are not aware of each other's culture. So when they are not aware of each other's culture, what happens is that it takes too much of time to understand the person, how the person is born and brought up. So difficulty with respect to cultural acceptance. That means you can say unawareness to the other one's culture. Fine. Okay. Then apart from this, now what happens is that if two people from different religion are getting married, what happens is that there is a lot of trolling that is coming on the way. So you can say that media is misused. Why? Because religion becomes an angle of violence. And what kind of violence? That is communal violence. So example, you have love jihad. Fine. So this is like the angle with respect to inter-religion marriage. Now apart from this, what could another issue be? Now, why social ostracization, why community acceptance is not there? Why? Because here we are facing what? Issues with respect to deep-rooted cultural differences. Deep-rooted cultural differences. So our society is already having what culture which is deeply rooted here. So when two people who are getting married from different religion, what issue they are going to face is that it becomes too much a headache to get out of this cultural differences. Fine. Now this was with respect to intercaste marriages. This was with respect to inter-religion marriage. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question says that in dealing with socio-economic issues of development, what kind of collaboration between government, NGOs and private sector would be most productive? Now, if you see, what is happening is that they are saying you have to deal with what? Socio-economic issues of development. Now, socio-economic issues of development, what kind of collaboration between who? Government, NGOs and private sector would be most productive. That means here you will find what? You will find government coming on your way, then you will find NGOs coming on your way, and then you have private sector. Now, how are the three segments going to collaborate for what? For addressing the socio-economic issues of development. Right, so let's move with the collaboration now. How these three things or these three collaboration could be made. First is your PPP model. Now, what is PPP model? That is public-private partnership. So we are having public, we are having private partnership. Now, public-private partnership is about what? For example, what is going to happen is the private sector will bring innovations. The public sector will address the needs of resources. Fine. Apart from this, what kind of model will be helpful? Now, if we are having a capacity building model, capacity building model is going to do what? Here we can have what? The efforts of NGOs. NGOs will do what? NGOs will help in making the crowd aware. So, awareness among the crowd or the groups, educating the crowd. So, NGOs will bring this. Now, government sector will bring what? Machineries. Machineries as in what? For example, bureaucracy. Fine. Other than that, what kind of machineries government will bring? Government will help in implementation of the policies or the frameworks. And how is this going to happen? Through systematic implementation of the program. So, systematic implementation is possible when government is there. Now, apart from this, what else or how the government is going to bring, this socio-economic development? We will have what? Better resource implementation. That means resources will be distributed in a equitable manner. Why? Because we will be having a good data. Now, here private sector is going to do what? Private sector will bring in technology. Why? For mass implementation of program. Fine. So, PPP model, public-private sector, Capacity building, we have NGOs, we have government, we have private sector. Now other than that, what we can do is we can help in making co-created programs, co-creation of programs. Co-creation of programs. Why? For example, we have national education policy, right? National education policy this time is talking about that we are going to bring in coding from class 6th onward in the government schools as well. So what is going to happen is, for this project to get implemented and to have efficiency or to have a better result, what we need to do is that we need to take help of the private sector. Why? Because probably the coders we want, where are these coders coming from? So we will get people who have this knowledge with respect to coding, etc. So co-creation of programs. Now co-creation of programs, here the government or the public sector will bring in policies. For example, national education policy, and the private sector is going to do what? The private sector is going to bring in skills. So they will not only bring in a skilled workforce, but will also help in skill development of the people there. So skill development. Fine. So we had PPP model, we have co-creation of programs, then we have capacity building. Next we can go for sustainable development goals alignment also. Now SDG alignments, why? Because if we are making better decisions or if we are having effective policies, what is going to happen is that the wastage of resources could be checked. How? Because there will be more transparency and accountability. In that way we will be able to achieve the sustainable development goals as well. Why? Because here we will be having a collaborative effort from NGOs, we will be having a collaborative efforts from public sector, we will be having a collaborative effort from the public sector as well. So we SDG alignments, and with SDG alignments what is going to happen is, here we will be having transparency and accountability, which will be helpful in attaining SDG goals. Fine. So if you see, what is happening is that we have talked about PPP model, we have talked about capacity building, we have talked about co-creation of programs, we have talked about SDG alignments as well. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question says, what is regional disparity? Why does it or how does it differ from diversity? How serious is the issue of regional disparity in India? Now we need to understand what is regional disparity, then we need to understand what is diversity, and how serious is the issue of regional disparity. So what is regional disparity? That means there is inequitable distribution of economic resources, or you can say social or cultural distribution of the resources are in a inequitable way. So here you will have inequitable distribution of resources. And diversity is what? Diversity is with respect to diversity with respect to culture, diversity with respect to language, etc. So here you will find that diversity is diverse cultural aspects, or you can say diverse socio-cultural aspects. Example, language. Example, caste. Example, religion. Example, economic as well. Now, how serious is the issue of regional disparity? Now, what are the issues of regional disparity? Now understand, this is going to be a challenge for the development of the country. So it's a challenge for economic development or economic progress of the country. Now, why it is a challenge for economic progress of the country? Why? Because if you see the region of the Bihar, which is poorly developed or underdeveloped, at the same time if you see the regions of Maharashtra, or if you see the regions of Delhi, so here what you find is that challenge for economic progress, that means the GDP of the states. I won't say nations, I would say states. Fine. So that way, how is it going to be an issue? For example, you will find challenges with respect to the development, that means socio-cultural development. So challenges with respect to socio-cultural development. Why? Issue with respect to demographic dividends. That means in one state you are finding youth who are very educated, whereas in other state you are finding probably the literacy rate is also not good. For example, if you see Kerala, you have close to 100% literacy as compared to Bihar, where the literacy rate is so poor. So 99% of literacy rate, whereas Bihar, the literacy rate is poor. Fine. Other than that, it will also challenge the economic prosperity of the state. Why? Because they won't be able to handle any kind of issues that are going to be encountered in future. What could it be? What it could be? For example, disasters. Now Bihar will not be in a condition to handle a disaster much more effectively as compared to Maharashtra, as compared to Delhi, etc. Fine. Other than that, what is going to happen is that there will be political implications also. Political implications. Why? For example, the government was hell bent to have this one nation, one language. So one nation, one language example. Now we are having what? Cultural disparities. We are having regional disparities. That means a person who is there in Tamil Nadu will not be comfortable with Hindi. So any kind of political policy or any kind of framework which is going to be implemented, which is not possible throughout the geography of the country. Why? Because of regional disparities. So political implementations. Why? Cultural disparities. Example, one nation, one language. Now, apart from this, what is going to happen is that one decision, example, UCC, Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Code could not be implemented, or it becomes a challenge to be implemented throughout the geography or throughout the territorial region. Fine. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question says that despite comprehensive policies for equity and social justice, underprivileged sections are not yet getting the full benefit of affirmative actions as envisaged by the Constitution. And we need to we need to comment on this. That means what are the comprehensive, even though we are having comprehensive policies for equity and for social justice, underprivileged sections are not yet getting the full benefit of affirmative action as envisaged by the Constitution. Now, first thing is that what is the issue? So, first issue is we are facing implementation gaps. Now, implementation gaps is what? Implementation gaps deals with what? Bureaucracy inefficiencies. So, bureaucratic inefficiencies. Then there is too much of red tapeism. Then there is too much of administrative loopholes, and all this is leading to what? Widening of corruption. Fine. Other than that, what is happening is that even though we are having this socio cultural aspects, we are trying to address it. How? Through bringing reservation, etc. But here also people are facing what? Discrimination. Right? Discrimination as in what? There people are subjected to treatment which is not human. So inhuman treatment, for example, you say sexual harassment act or sexual harassment. Then you have Prevention of SC/ST Atrocities Act. So that means people are facing issues with respect to caste, etc. Now, other than that, you are facing issues with respect to gender also, LGBTQ community. Fine. So this becomes an issue. Other than that, even though these policies are there, but the social acceptance in the country is lacking. So social and cultural acceptance is lagging. Why? Because of rigidities in the dimension of the caste, religion, culture, etc. Fine. Now, other than that, the feeling of regionalism in certain areas is very strong. So, feeling of regionalism is very strong. Now, feeling of regionalism is leading to what? This feeling of regionalism is leading to son of soil sentiments. Fine. So this could be certain reasons because of which what is happening is that there is a lot of social stigma. So all this is leading to social stigma. Fine. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question says that globalization has increased urban migration by skilled, young, unmarried women from various classes. How has this trend impacted upon their personal freedom and relationship with family? Now, if you see what they have said is that globalization is the reason for what? Urban migration by skilled, young, unmarried women from various classes. How has this trend impacted upon their personal freedom and relationship with family? Now, unmarried women are getting ambitious towards career. So, even if you see the reports of periodic labor force survey, you will always find that participation in the workforce from the unmarried woman side is increasing. So, if it's increasing, that means more and more women are trying to join the labor force, and they are they have shifted their focus from marriage to career. So what is happening is that one of the reason for globalization, which has increased urban migration, is because traditional norms are getting challenged. So traditional norms are getting challenged. So what is happening is the focus is shifting from marriages to financial independency. Other than that, what is happening is that see, there are multiple movements which had happened in other Western countries, which has also impacted our country, and that is, for example, feminism. Now, this movement has brought in what? The concept of gender equality. So when the concept of gender equality has brought in, so this has led to what? Making of my choices. So financial freedom has brought in the scope of my choices. Now, other than that, because of globalization, the focus has been shifted towards education, career growth. So education, career growth. So what is happening is that the concept of late marriage is happening. Now, other than that, women's in the past face the issue of supportive families. Now here we'll find that the families are supportive of career choices, and because of this, what is happening is that there is increased migration. Why? Because of more opportunities. Where? In the urban areas. Fine. Other than that, what is happening is that globalization has connected the whole world through social media. So social media has led to what? Or defined the new definition of freedom. And how do we know this? For example, women have started taking career with respect to social influencers, etc. Fine. Now, other than that, the more the women are getting educated, they are preferring late marriages. Now when late marriages are preferred, what is happening is then they are facing the issue of loneliness, or in some cases there is no marriage as well. Why? Because there has been a report which has came by Stanley, and what is that report all about? It says that by 2030 we'll find that 45% of women are childless as well, not married and childless. Fine. So this is one of the reasons. Now, other than that, let's move on to the next question. Now, the next question says that critically analyze the proposition that there is a high correlation between India's cultural diversities and socio-economic marginalities. That means you have to critically analyze that there is a high correlation between India's cultural diversities and socio-economic marginalities. That means what is happening is that here we are having people, or we are having crowd which is culturally diverse. Now, because of diversity, here you will have people who are coming from SC community, people who are coming from tribal communities, then people who are coming from different section, like for example, there are women segment. Now, this way, what is happening is that these people are also facing socio-economic marginalities. Socio-economic marginalities, why? Because firstly, these people might not receive education. Secondly, employment could be an issue for them. Why? Because of disparities. Then to some extent, what is happening is that even though there is a high cultural diversity which is acting as unity in diversity, we embrace diversity, but at the same time this is leading to socio-economic marginalities. Why? Because a certain segment is poorly acknowledged. Right. So what I mean to say is that even though we are having diversity, but this diversity is becoming very difficult to maintain. Why? Because with diversity is coming marginalities also. Why? Because there is a lot of interposition of culture onto another one, and at the same time what is happening is that the benefits cannot be accrued by the people whom we are bringing those policies, frameworks, etc. for. Why? Because a lot of section of people go unchecked. Why? Because they are unaware. Fine. So this could be written in detail, and this is what was there for Indian society. I have covered almost all the aspects of the questions. Yeah. So thank you so much, and all the very best for your optional paper.